good win against Wexford and good win against Galway in the Leinster final. So we're in the All-Ireland semi-final, and that's obviously what we will be targeting at this stage.
We're aware of the magnitude of the task. We're aware of the reasons why we're 4-1 in the bookies to win the match. We're aware that our historical record against Kilkenny is absolutely, I don't think we've won since 1959 in a championship match against Kilkenny. So we're aware of all that, but at the same time, like, sport is sport, and you play to win and you play to be highly competitive, and we hope to be highly competitive.
Everybody has been looking at Waterford this year and realising that the way they're playing. I think they've lost one game, I think, this year between League and Championship, but that was a Munster final to Tipperary, and everybody knows just the quality in Tipperary's. And that game was very, very close, very, very tight. It's not as if they've come from nowhere either. A lot of these players are very, very young and they've had great underage careers. But also, 2 years ago, we went to extra time with them in Championship in Thurles, and we did very well to get out of that game with a very, very narrow win. They have a huge work rate, they have really good attitude to the game, and obviously things between the whole setup is good. Management, players, everybody working together very, very well, and it's great to see that.
The main thing that strikes me about Kilkenny is that kind of, I think Martin Fogarty referred to it a number of years ago, that kind of decency that's within our squad, that kind of inherent decency, and it's the kind of ordinary fellas doing extraordinary things. And it sounds exaggerated, but I just find that I just loved watching Tommy Welch and all those fellas absolutely tear into fellas and then just put the ball down, take the free, no histrionics, no overplaying, just kind of really just tearing into it. And I just thought, in equal measure, when the rare times they were beaten, they showed great grace and humility, and when they won, they never stitched it into anyone or rubbed it in, So I think any team can learn from watching an environment where that's been created by a man like that. Obviously instills all that in his team,
If you become complacent, there's something wrong, and I think it's the person in charge of the team has to be looked at if things become complacent. So that's a responsibility of the person in charge or the people in charge, and that's something that needs to be always kept in people's minds. I consider work rate a skill. It's a terrific skill to have, and it's not something that I would ever kind of look upon as something that's some people refer to maybe as donkey work or something. But to try very hard to win the ball would seem to me to be a kind of a given in sport, no matter what sport you're playing. And if that's what we do very, very well, I'd be very, very happy.
You'd be cognizant also of the fact that the future is now. I know we've played the card that we're young and we'll be back, but there's just no guarantees in life or in sport that you'd be back. I think, the general consensus was when Clare won the All-Ireland that they would be back immediately to dominate. When Limerick were beaten in the semi-final by Kilkenny by a point last year, that they were the team to make the breakthrough. Similarly with Wexford last year. So I think we have to be aware of the fact that we could be the team that, if for want of a better word, that would suffer second season syndrome next year, even though it's my third season. But you have to be aware that there's often a collapse after a kind of a mini revival, if you like. So we just need to take the opportunity while it's there,
GAA. Be there all the way.